point where I was a little bit frustrated with it. Ended up taking a little bit of a break thereafter. But I've been playing again now since, and it's been fun. So
Okay. Looking here at the time of the form, you're basically a Lucio one trick. Is that still the case?
yeah. Um, and I know I mentioned that I've been trying some different characters on the forum.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, I have not done a lot with that.
Okay. So
If I
basically
had
still
my
Lucio.
choice, I would just continue to one trick Lucio. The reason that I would like to learn some other characters is I do play with a regular group pretty often,
Okay.
and understandably, there are situations where they prefer not to have a Lucio on their team,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, and I would like to accommodate them somewhat if I can.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I've played with one tricks before, and I mean, it is what it is. So okay. Now I guess, do you have any sort of a plan for figuring that system out? Like, in other words, what's the plan for adding to that pool? Do you have a plan?
I don't have a strong one, so I have some playtime on Juno and Brig, but I feel like they either fill the same niche as Lucio more often than not, or don't provide what I would need them to in the situations where I don't play Lucio, which is if he's banned or if someone is playing a another low healing player like Mercy or
Sure.
Zen, something like that.
Sure. Understandable. So you're basically, you would like to have something that provides something that Lucio doesn't necessarily. Okay.
Right.
Now, I will say that I think the most important thing when it comes to support play at any rank is their level of skill. Um, so even in a situation where you're running a Rhine and you're running Brig, Zen, or something, you can make that work quite well if you know exactly how to play Brigitte, because a lot of the value that you provide as Brig is value of denying damage that your tank would otherwise take by just controlling space, essentially. So you don't need to heal as
Yeah.
much because you are preventing him from taking as much damage. So now that's can be challenging to do, and if that's something that your friend group doesn't want to deal with, that's fine. But again, I guess you just need to evaluate what's the plan, and then make a
Yeah.
plan, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And then obviously always prioritizing fun when it comes to which characters that you're trying to learn. That would be my recommendation.
Fair enough.
Okay. Were you looking at Lucio today in terms of the review, though?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I've got two Lucio codes. I do actually have one that isn't because he got taken from me.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, so one of the two Lucio codes are victories. One
It's fine.
was with my group, one was solo queue,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
I've got one that's a Kiriko code and it's a loss.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's finish up the form here. I want to get some idea. Obviously, you said you filled this out at a different time, so if this has changed, just let me know. I'm
Sure.
looking to maintain situational awareness, how to behave, wide range of scenarios. I think one of your videos about proximity helped me encourage me to be more tenacious in holding space, but there are many times I feel like it'd be much more valuable, especially with how I use speed around my team. The time of the form was plat, playing around 8 to 10 hours per week, mostly Saturday through Monday with shorter sessions on the other days. How much of the time is spent with your friend group, and is this in quick play or is this in ranked?
Yeah, it's in ranked,
Okay.
and I would say half or a little over half is spent with the group.
Okay. So mostly spent with your group. Okay. So you'll
Yeah.
have limited time to focus on yourself, which is not a problem with your goals because your goals aren't like super crazy, just diamond maybe if possible, right? And that seems pretty
So
reasonable.
that has probably changed a little bit
Okay.
because at the time I was basically plat one. I had peaked into diamond a couple times, always get knocked back down. Since the ranked reset, I've been hovering diamond four, diamond three.
Mm-hmm.
But I know they adjusted the elo settings that are associated with the ranks. So I'm wondering if I need to have a goal that is somewhat higher than that to relate to an equivalent play
Sure.
level of play.
So I guess I'd ask you two questions. One would be, do you feel like you have been fortunate in the rank reset? Because that is going to introduce more variance. Do you feel like you did well with placements? Have you gotten a little fortunate win-loss since then?
I I think I have.
Okay.
I don't feel like I'm completely outmatched where I'm at, but I do think that I'm probably
Okay.
a little bit boosted at the moment.
Okay. And do you feel like you've been playing well or better than before?
It's been inconsistent since I took a break, honestly. Sometimes I feel like I play pretty well, and sometimes I feel like I play pretty badly,
Okay.
frankly.
Okay. Well, then let's try to focus some of the attention into things outside the rank. Then, like, let's just focus on like the execution that will lead to a better rank, and let's just see what happens with the
Right.
rank.
Yeah, I guess I think of rank as a representation of my play, is
Yes.
why I even mentioned it in the forum.
Sure. I mean, it's tough with the like what ranks matter, and it's just like you just have to try to be as objective as you possibly can, and that can be very difficult to do. So, in
Sure.
terms of those skills, at the time of the forum, you talk about feeling lost in games, inconsistent mechanical proficiency, and being unable to consistently, quickly assess situations. Talk to me about all three of those things, and maybe any things that have gotten better or things that have gotten worse
Mhm.
since the time of the forum.
Yeah, okay. So because, and this may
Start
be
with feeling
represent,
lost.
yeah, so this may be a situation where I've misunderstood some previous things that I've learned about from
Mm-hmm.
some of your videos, but um, a lot of the time I am trying to play close and I try not to frontline, but it ends up in me going off on weird angles sometimes, and I feel like I lose track of my team in particular
Okay.
pretty easily.
Okay. So,
Um,
in your aggression,
yeah,
maybe losing context of where people are and what you need to be doing.
right.
Okay. Um, then what? Talk about mechanical proficiencies, I guess.
Yeah, so the reason I got into Lucio in the first place was Overwatch is the only FPS I've ever played competitively.
Yep.
And when I
Same.
started, he was the guy that I could get some value out of just by being there, basically, right? Um, Mechanics have improved a lot since then, at least, but they're still fairly haphazard. My aim in particular, my movement's pretty decent, I feel like, in a lot of situations.
Okay. But mostly your aim.
Yeah.
What have you taken to address that weakness? Do you have any ideas or any plans, or is this kind of more of a hoping you would give you some advice?
So I have in the past, recently, I haven't done a lot with aim. In the past, it's been mostly hop into the practice range and jump around and practice either shooting at people from walls or while I'm diving on them, just the bots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Just kind of a warm-up thing, I guess.
We'll talk about what to do, how to train that when we get into the review, if that works for you.
That's fine.
Inability to quickly assess situations. Obviously, with Lucio, the battle state is
Hmm.
changing quite frequently.
Fairly similar to the bit about feeling lost, I guess.
Sure.
But also, it's just a situation where I feel like I need to make a decision immediately, fairly often, and I do so, and it results in bad games.
Sure. I mean
You
that's
know?
sometimes that's how it goes, right? Do you think it's a problem always with the decision, or is it more to do with the execution of the decision?
That is a good question.
Maybe something to kind of put
I
more attention
feel
onto.
like it is probably the decisions fairly often, but I'm not positive of that, I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah. Okay. If nothing else, I hope these questions have kind of primed your brain a little bit. So when we look at the replay review, we've kind of got those things fresh.
Mhm.
You know, where am I going? Was that the right decision? Did I mechanically perform well on that decision? And then we'll kind of go from there. Okay. I don't really have any other questions for you. Do you have any other questions for me?
Not offhand.
Okay. Let's jump in. Like
All
your
right.
like your
Do you
profile
have one you'd?
picture. Classic.
You have one you'd prefer to?
I would definitely say Lucio because that I mean, regardless of where you're going to go with hero pool, I think Lucio is going to remain a pillar of what you play. But
Okay.
whichever one works for me.
Okay, we'll go with the solo queue one.
Okay.
Mainly because. Wait, 1 sec. Gotta find it.
Take your time.
Okay. So this is King's Row. Code is RDEA3N.
Okay. Can you see my stream okay?
I'm
Ready for battle. 1. Attackers incoming.
one second here.
Yeah, take your
Let's
time.
see. I don't use Discord very much. I apologize.
Okay. No, it's fine. It could be awkward to figure out the first time through, especially with the streams.
Okay, I see it here.
Okay. So why this game? I know you said you played, been trying some different heroes recently, so I'm sure you're not too many codes available. But out of the games that you've played, this is the one you wanted to look at. Why?
It's one that I feel like is fairly representative of my play,
Okay.
I guess, is the main reason.
What makes you think that?
Decent number of mechanical issues that I run into frequently. A little bit of a struggle on the longer sight lines, although I think I did a better job here than in the past
Sure.
with finding shorter angles.
Okay.
And then just looking to make certain plays that I think are probably timed incorrectly.
Okay. Do you have
That
any
kind of thing.
questions about Lucy before we jump in?
Questions about Lucio. I might wonder how you go about dealing with some of the architecture on maps like this, I guess.
Sure.
Just in terms of his wall writing, but
Sure. Okay. Sounds good. Is this console or PC?
this is console, it's Xbox.
Got it. Okay, sounds good. All right, let's jump into it. So I guess the three highlights that we're looking at is, are you making correct decisions? Are you making decisions at all? And then how are you mechanically executing on those decisions? And we'll go from there. Okay, let's take a look.
Yeah.
It's fine. Controlling some space, holding out front, a little bit of cover. So I guess this is one of those moments right now where is you going to harass a soldier in this window, is this space okay for Lucio? Just give me your gut reaction.
I think so, yeah.
I think so too. So then what was the failure?
This one was definitely a wall riding issue. I couldn't
Right.
get up on top of the ledge.
Right. You lost momentum in the transition. So then you just needed to bounce there, and then instead of bouncing, you kind of went backwards and then tried to jump forward, but that kind of killed your momentum, essentially. So, it was really close. Yeah. Look, I mean, that's so close, like an inch off, right? So that's just a wall riding failure, but I like the idea. It makes total sense. Even what you're doing here is fine. Harassing Hog, booping him back. We're trying to do it again.
Yeah, I spent more time here than I should have, but
I don't think that's the case, right? Like this, you spent more time here than you should, but what else are you supposed to do?
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of where I want you to step back and being your critic sometimes, and instead focus on what do I intend this game to be? And if this game is just simply getting a lot more familiar with the King's Row architecture under pressure, then sure. If we go back to here, you probably, I can't say I've been put in this exact same situation before, but you probably should be able to make it from here, right? And just bouncing off of these little stone ledges, right? And you were unable to.
Yeah.
And so you had to go backwards. And then even here, it's still not quite smooth. But if not now, when? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I think, like, you try to do the right thing. You're using your cooldowns relatively well. Like, I mean, as in, like, we're not wasting our amp or anything along these lines. We're shooting, we're booping, we're holding space. You were down a bunch, so this fight was pretty much lost no matter what you did here. And so, like, what more is there to be said? If anything here, maybe you could have lived on the flank and re-engaged, but even your decision to die in point is not a bad decision either. It's fine.
Yeah, I kind of figured if I was lucky, I could get out. If not, I could stall it for a second. But
Yeah, so it's reasonable. So, like, I guess we got to reevaluate here. Where's your space to control? So let's see what you do. Maybe you're thinking we'll back off. Yeah, okay. So, favorable, unfavorable, 50-50, what do you think?
feels 50-50 to me.
I'll be
think
honest with you.
he's-
I'm going to say 55-45 in your favor. And it's because you have amp. I think amp is really freaking strong up close. Like, really good.
Yep.
Continue.
I don't remember. I think he still had rocket at this point.
Sure. That's hard to call a cooldown, right? It's basically always available, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I guess why I would have guessed it to be a closer fight.
Sure. But you got amp, and you're going to have 2 boops, most
The
likely.
location's good, and I'm fine with that.
You just missed a lot of shots, right? That's all.
Yeah.
Like, this guy should have been dead. So in terms of your heal versus speed, I think the heal is fine. If anything, I actually would have amped sooner, like amp as soon as the engagement is committed.
Really? Okay.
And the reason behind that is because you're already in the act of taking serious damage. So, like, what are you saving amp for, if that makes sense?
Okay.
So you might as well just kind of go all the way out here. There's nothing really holding you back. Just go. Now, that could be amp speed to make him miss more shots. But yeah, at this range, probably just amp heal and bounce off the walls. But to be honest with you, you missed an opportunity to get the kill, but the play is still good. Why? Who won the space, I guess?
Oop, muted.
okay.
Put me in a good location for myself.
Sure.
In terms of taking the fight.
Sure.
Beyond that, I'm not really sure where everything else was happening here, if I was actually doing anything useful.
Well, the thing is if your team is fighting and you're fighting somebody else, that's always useful. Right? You got to simplify your thought process. It's the exact same value that you had when you were denying the soldier in the high ground earlier, right? You're denying the soldier this angle. Again, it's a different angle, it's a different high ground, but it's the same result, right? And he had to demand resources to get help, and then we're still holding space. So this is fine. This is also fine. Now, I would say this is not necessarily a 50-50 in your favor, but actually, let's look at the context here. If this is much more scary of a duel, why were you going in so confidently?
The health pack was on my side of the room.
Sure. Why else?
And I knew he was closer to my team than I was to his.
Partly. I mean, also just simply look at his camera. You know, where is he looking?
Yeah,
he's not looking at you, right? So you don't even have amp here, but you go in with a full clip, and then here he's on the back foot. Now, he ends up stealing the mega from you, which is kind of bad. But yeah, this is fine. And look at the kill feed, right? The 2 people that you harassed out die. So let's look at where they were positioned. Where's the soldier right now? Sitting on cart. Where's the Cassidy right now?
Back in the room there. But...
Sitting on cart. Where does they die? On cart. Why were they not on the off angle? Because of you. You did that. You understand what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Yep.
So, like, my
Thanks,
point being here is that this is partly an execution diff in terms of the fact that you didn't kill them yourself, but you still cleared them from the angle effectively and managed your positioning well. So, good. Do that again. Amp speed plus whole hog, guys. Quite the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fine. I will be honest, in terms of how you're moving, I don't see... I mean, don't hold me at this yet. This looks fine. Like, I wouldn't go, oh yeah, this is definitely not Diamond Lucio. You look fine. You look comfortable. Your aim looks fine. Your movement looks fine. It's not exceptional, but it's not bad either. So you're not really frauding yourself into Diamond necessarily here, based off of what I've seen. This might just be a small sample size or not, but you look comfortable. Any questions so far?
I don't believe so at the moment.
Okay. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Let's see if it maintains that level of intensity. Okay. Sure. Be careful with the boop when you guys are chasing targets, obviously. Just, I know it's damage, but obviously, like, you knock him further away from your team. Just more of a micro thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
This amp probably not necessary, but I like this angle from you. I mean, again, what's the problem here, if any? Well, it's probably to do with, just probably don't be here. You gotta be scary. You gotta be scared, right? However,
Yep.
you immediately respond to a 2v1, and let me be very clear, this is your job. It's just not your job to get killed here. So you need to be a little bit more intelligent about how you approach this. So you tell me, how should you approach this? You know Cassie's here, what would you do? You didn't know Soldier was there, to be clear, but you didn't know Cassie was there. What would you do?
I can't really back off without him taking the sight line there.
Sure. But you don't necessarily need to stop him from taking it. You just need to contest it, if that makes sense. In the same way where you were going up with a Soldier here, you couldn't probably fully stop him from doing
should
that.
I have been... I was going to say, should I have been higher in the corner?
You could go higher. This is pretty risky because there's no relief for you, but you could. I mean, it's not bad, right? You could even just play the door frame, like even just here. So like do exactly kind of what you just did, boop, but then quickly back off to the door frame, but don't stay here. Just get to here, just so that you have cover, if that makes sense. Yep.
Okay.
Little details, but important ones. Yeah, this is fine. You make a decision. Okay. What I would do in these circumstances here is I can tell that your brain is like, I don't know what to do. So the answer is just do something. Because that could be here, or that could be abandoning the angle and shooting from here. I would probably prefer to go here because you can shoot something from here. But you're not doing really anything right now. And I think that the mindset is that, well, at least I'm halfway between 2 points if they need it. But I'd really... Well, go ahead.
I really thought Junkrat was going to get pushed, and I wasn't sure what to do about it.
Well, be there.
Yeah, but I figured if I went in there, I was just going to meet the same fate as him.
Yeah,
you're right. I
Sure.
wasn't deciding what to do. You're right about that.
I mean,
But that was kind of what was
you're
on my head.
Sure. So what about this makes you feel as if you couldn't get out of this alive? Why does this feel so bad to you?
I mean, looking at it here, I don't really know, but at the time, I think I was worried about Queen and Wu Yang in particular.
Sure. Are you equipped
With the AoE stuff they have.
Sure. Do you have the abilities to be able to take this space and leave it if it was just you? Ignore the Junkrat for a second. If I put you here, can you live?
Probably.
Okay, so that's all we really need to know.
Okay.
If you go here and you're unable to get your Junkrat out alive, that's not your problem. Your problem is to help him as much as you can, but never, ever at the expense of your own life.
Okay.
So if you see this here and you commit here, and then he starts to get really hard pushed, and he gets, like, let's say, knifed by a Junk Queen, and they sleep him, and you just have to amp away, okay. Bye. Have fun. But you got value while you were here, crucially, is the key thing. You understand what I'm saying? So you did what you could, and then you played your life as soon as it went poorly. When you're helping somebody with Lucio, you're not living or dying with them. You're helping them as much as you can, and then you're abandoning them when things get too hot. That's it.
Okay.
Because your helping them is still help. Like, it's still value for you to be here, not just for yourself, but also for him. So just commit. And also, commit because it's a good space for you. And we've seen how these small rooms have gone for you. It's looked pretty good. I don't hate this. It's an interesting idea. Okay. This is you trying to be a helper, but you should not be a helper right now. Why?
No. Hang on. See, where is... Okay, this was a situation where I lost track of my team. I thought it was just me and the Hazard, and I was trying to get us out.
I see. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because given the context, why is this a mistake?
I guess because my Iori is up there on a good angle, my Junkrat's facing the choke, and the only one who dipped out is Hazard, so if I stayed on my angle, we'd be doing more good. Correct. This position is not good for you. You're backing up and amping to back up to do nothing, essentially. But Right.
the reason that you did that was because you didn't realize that there were still 4 people of your teammate here, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is just an evaluation of the team's decision, positioning, not necessarily you being stupid. It just, you lost track of things.
Right.
I like the beat, even though your Junkrat died. I like it. You got one. You forced another. We're now in a good position for Lucio. You bail. I don't love how you bailed, but you did bail.
Yeah.
Now, let me explain why I don't like how you bailed. You do need to probably get out of here at some point, right? But how would you get out of here? There's one thing that would have helped you get out of here better.
I maybe if I waited for amp.
That's it. That's it. Every action that you've
Okay.
taken is going to be high risk here. We're not avoiding risk by any means. We've just committed to this play. We're going to live or die by our decisions. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with dying. However, I think if you amped here, then at the very least, if you get out, there's a higher chance of that versus you going without amp, in which case there's a much higher chance of you dying for no real reason at all. Just stay here, poke, harass, disrupt, and then just go flying out of here with amp and see if you can get out. That's it. You got it.
Okay.
Oh my days. That is unreal.
I should have died there. But
I mean, you did die. But, I mean, honestly, the play itself was, like, not terribly executed. It was fine. Just could have been done a little bit better in terms of regards to your amp. And, like, you guys were able to force an ult down 2 with beat. And get enough trades to where you guys can actually recontest this. And your Hazard's even holding space right now. I mean, look at that, right? Like, that's due to your efforts.
Yeah.
So this is good. Now, we need to move here. We need to freaking move here. So, where do you need to be right now with the context of the battlefield? Like, what space looks good to you right now?
top right.
Yeah, get there right now. Get top right, get inside right, amp across and be an idiot and go all the way across the left if you're feeling spicy. Hard flank, I don't really care, but you need to be controlling some space here.
Okay. That
This is
may be a place where I'm not confident in my ability to get up there as well.
Sure. So then that's something that you should practice this game.
Okay.
Again, it goes
Okay.
back to what you did in first point where you made the right decision, but you're terrible at doing it. Now, in hindsight, I
So-
think you can actually get from here, I think would be the play. If you're not confident, then maybe you could cross across and get it to certainly you can get it to it from this corner, right?
So maybe in terms of a plan, I should be intending to practice movement on maps like this, where I feel like maybe that should be my
Yeah.
goal going into
Yeah.
them.
What I would say is that when you see a space that you feel like you should be, you need to get there at all costs. Even if it means you're there a few seconds late or you fail getting there completely because you're just bad at wall running. Because you have to put yourself under duress right? So because the solution here is, nothing, right? So I would literally rather have you bumbling up against the wall here because at least you're being productive. Whereas here, it's like you're actually basically getting the same amount of value. You get what I'm saying? Like you're not doing anything right now. You're not controlling the space. Now you do respond well here because you go, oh, soldier angle. I'm going to amp that out. Hold the corner. And then as the visor is expiring, I go in aggressively and finish this off. That's great. That's really good Lucio play right there. It's good. Good use of your amp. Good use of your positioning. Good use of your mechanics. And even this right here, yes, very nice. Just amp yourself. Yep. Now find your next position. This is good. This is good. I'm telling you, mate, this is really not bad. Like, you're playing well. You're not playing amazing, but you look comfortable mechanically. So I'm not really seeing mechanics. So if we want to talk about mechanics, the biggest thing you're going to do with Lucio is because if you have these like projectiles that you can just spam out, is the same thing with every character, right? Slow down your shots. Don't allow yourself to spam out shots. Lower your rate of fire. So in games where you're practicing your aim, lower your rate of fire and be more precise with your aim. Yes.
Okay.
That's how you practice the entire game. That's all you're fixating on. Lowering your rate of fire and being precise with your shots.
Okay.
However, I don't look at your mechanics right now and say, oh yeah, this is a huge weak point given the rank that you're at.
Fair enough. I don't think it's terrible when I'm on Lucio. It's much more apparent on other characters.
Right, because their weapons function differently, right?
Right.
So you need more practice with them, and then you also need to follow the same feedback I just gave for Lucio, which is lower your rate of fire. You get comfortable with them.
Fair
That's
enough.
it.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, this is definitely higher risk, but it's not as if it's low reward. That space was fine. Really strange amp. First amp that I've really actively questioned. I don't hate this space. It's a little bit like you've got people controlling space here. This corner's fine for Lucio. I would prefer for you to be in height if you'd had the capability or time to get there, but talk me through this amp. Is this more of anticipating your hazard to push this?
I think I was anticipating a lot of damage on him because I thought most of their team was down that line.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll try to be reactive with amp, not predictive. Just a good general rule.
Okay.
Because it sucks now to not have your amp, because this is definitely an amping moment, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Because this is one of those moments where it's like, you just shouldn't die. You shouldn't die here. Like, you really shouldn't die here. I don't hate what you're doing necessarily. I would argue that maybe your junk is just dead here. And then maybe we could backline trade. That's maybe the better to play here, but whatever. Okay, we're going to go back and deal with the Junker Queen because we're here. But the key thing is because you don't have your amp, you're unable to move effectively. And because you're unable to move effectively, you should die here. You really should just die here.
And I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really poorly played from you in terms of not the decision, but the execution of that decision, which was to deal with the Junker Queen. Because even if you can't keep your Junkrat alive, your presence here might be able to allow you guys to kill this Junker Queen.
Okay.
Right? So it's fine. You just needed to not die. There's just no reason for you to die. Like, Lucy was a...
So when you say you mean the execution prior to my decision to fight the Junker
Correct.
Queen, when
exactly.
I wasted the amp, right?
So execution would be either mechanics, movement, or cooldown management, right? So with this one, your movement could have been better, your aim could have been better. Of course, it can always be better. But the biggest low-hanging fruit is that you took a duel with a Junker Queen without amp, right? And why? It's because you tried to be predictive with your amp. So the key thing to point here, and this is why it's so important to give context, your decision making is not the problem here. What's wrong is your amp use, which cost you what was a pretty reasonable decision to focus on the queen. That's the problem.
Okay.
So this is fine. Like, this queen with you here, you will kill her, and your hazard will live, and then you will live, and then maybe you have a situation where you guys can 2v4 clutch or 3v4 clutch. I don't know. Regardless, this was a good decision from you that was poorly executed due to your amp management. And your amp management was bad because you tried to predict what was going to happen instead of reacting. Does that make sense?
All right.
So what you would do is you'd go into a game with your amps, if this is a consistent theme with you, and I'd try to really focus on, I'm going to amp action. I'm not going to try to predict when things are going to go wrong. The only time I'm going to predict when things are going to go wrong are when I'm 1v1ing somebody. Does that make sense? because I know I'll get amp value in a 1v1. Anything else, I'm always reacting. Almost always reacting. Like even with the tactical visor, when you amped that tactical visor, remember the soldier on the flank? That was not you predicting things are going wrong. That was you reacting to the visor, correct? So that was a good amp. That allowed your EDR to duck behind the corner, and if the soldier had overpeaked that, you would have used the last second of the amp to run him down, right? That's correct. Good?
I think so, yeah. Actually, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it just allows you to simplify the thought process, right? Like you aren't in comms with these people. You don't know when they're going to go in and go out. It's better to just react to what's going on or to set up your own value. I like this angle. Obviously, there's not a lot of good close range angles with where your team is fighting. Like, we're kind of giving them that space. Now, you could be in here with your soldier. That would be good as well. Okay. This is one of those moments again, right? This amp, when he's already out, is not amping action. You see what I'm saying? He's already out. He's already safe. You can heal aura him. Now, you could have been in here with him, in which case you would definitely would have wanted to amp in here, like amp speed him in or amp speed him out for sure. But this is not, he's not acting, so he doesn't really deserve your amp.
Okay.
Now, if you decided to go amp in, it would have been a bad decision, but it would have made sense with the amp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially look at your perk, right? Like, is this the amp size perk or the amp attack speed? I can't remember.
Can I see my perk here?
It's the bottom right.
Yes,
right
I
above
can.
Your ammo. I actually don't know.
That
I guess the question would be which one do you
actually
use?
remember?
Which one do you usually choose? Do you have a preference, or does it depend for you?
Yeah. So since the most
the
recent
range.
update,
It's the range. Okay, you chose the range. Keep going.
I usually choose the range for the major perk unless I feel like I want to chunk a shield, like with a Winston or a Sigma.
Okay.
Because my aim's not good enough to really get value out of the increased attack speed usually.
Okay. Now, that's funny you should say that because I completely disagree based off of what little we've seen in this game.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Nah, yeah, I mean, I'm
know,
not
I
saying
guess,
the other one's bad. I'm saying that one is definitely situationally good. But the irony here is I actually think with this particular point, I don't think you really need the amp range. Everyone's pretty clumped.
you're probably right about that.
And I've been seeing, I mean, I don't know, maybe this is a good mechanical game for you. Nobody's perfectly consistent with mechanics. But I will say that, like, I mean, I don't know. I think you're being too hard on yourself. I think you could get a lot out of your amp attack speed if you saw the opportunity for it.
Okay. And since the update, I have been picking the amp on beat perk a lot more because I feel like the way they change boot perk makes me it makes me feel like I need to be charging it all the time, even when I don't necessarily want to be on a wall.
Sure. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You've been on a wall a large portion of the time. So again, I think you're being too hard on yourself.
True.
I think you'd be surprised because remember you charged up and you just have to touch a wall. So it's more of a map situational perk. Maybe I do really like the amp with beat perk a lot because you get like a freaking, what is it? Like a 6 or 7 second amp or something absurd. Maybe even longer. Actually.
Yeah, no, it's very strong for sure.
Very strong. It allows you to chain really easily too. So I think that perk is really good, but yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Good job. That's your space. It's just another one of those amp moments, you know? Yeah, it's like, we just don't have it. And I'd go as far to say here, I'm not convinced that you need to leave here yet. I would shoot a little bit, poke a little bit, see what happens, because we're going backwards to a long angle, but at least here, this one's a tiny bit shorter, and it's also an actual angle, whereas this one doesn't really feel like much of truly like not much of an angle at all. Like this was a fine starting point, and then we can make our decision from there, but we could poke and harass here, no problem. Because this keeps happening. Our soldier keeps taking space, and we're not supporting him. And even if your soldier wasn't taking space here, I think poking and prodding and going back to here and healing, and then poking and prodding and seeing if we can get pushed, probably better use of your time, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even here, why is Queen the priority? Like, if I turn around, there's value here too, right? Like, our Junkrat soldier have not really had the confidence to hold space here.
Okay.
Good beat. Now the funny thing here. Again, it doesn't really feel like our amp has a whole lot of purpose. Maybe you're using your perk here. I think that was the intention. Like, I can maybe get my EDR with that amp, I assume.
I don't actually remember.
But it's strange, because again, there's an amp being used, and there's nothing really, you're not really doing anything with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to cut you some slack and assume it was for your EDRE. And I like the beat. I've liked all your beats so far. And yeah, the amp's fine. I mean, we're doing things, so yeah. Yeah, this has just been, we've been down one this entire fight, so like we've done like pretty reasonable things in terms of shooting and moving and amping and so on. Just nothing's really happened because we've been down one this entire time. And we've been down one this entire time because we weren't controlling space on this angle, and Solar Soldier got picked on the angle that we should have been controlling. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. But in terms of what you've been doing, your amps have been fine. Yeah. Good juke on the Queen. They've also used a handful of ults, and we only really had 2 there, and then the Riptire wins it, so that was fine. Okay, let's keep going. What do you think about the space you're controlling?
It's not awful, but I'd rather be over on the left side, I guess.
You could. You could. At least you're getting maximum aura value here, right? At least, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think either one's fine. Left is more angle-pilled. Right is going to be more, I'm playing with my team, getting maximum aura. It's up to you. For you, it's like, the reason why you're like, well, then why were you harassing me for being here if I was getting aura? Well, it's because it was a difference of range, right? Whereas here, this is pretty close. This is also pretty close. It's really, they're both close. It's up to you. Whereas this one was much further. This one was much closer. That's why I preferred that one, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
And obviously, if you're able to ult track this, which is probably asking too much, then that you'd probably understand why the angle's kind of important here. Because you guys are cooked. That was a massive Junker Queen ult. Let's see our recontest. Okay, we don't get one. Let's keep going here. What are you seeing so far? All the humdrum fights aside, what actually needs to be done better so far?
Let's see. A little more patience, waiting for cooldowns to come back, I guess. And a little...
Now, what do you mean by that? Be specific.
I mean, there were at least 2 times I recall that you suggested that I should have waited for amp to come back. I had like 2 or 3 seconds, I think.
So just amp to action, right? Like if you're seeing off aggressive action, try to make sure that you have amp if you can. Okay.
Yeah. And in the same vein, if there's not a whole lot going on, try to make sure I don't waste amp.
Right, amp again tied to action. You noticing here? Notice that we've just that's the same thing to practice essentially, on different sides of the coin.
Yeah, right.
Amp to action, amp to action, amp to action. You could spend an entire game working on that. What else?
I feel like that's the main takeaway I have at the moment, at least.
Okay, what about your positioning side of things, like where you've held space?
I feel as though it's been largely decent, although maybe sometimes I should be, again, a little more willing to wait and see before I just decide to leave it.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes I get a little bit timid and dip out maybe before I should.
Okay. Okay. What about your beats?
Beats here, I feel like I played okay. My team's largely, I've been able to keep in line of sight for them, and I think they respond to either enemy ults or situations where we wouldn't live without it.
Okay. I mean, obviously, it's just there was a very clear decision behind the beat, and you didn't hesitate, right? That's the key thing. Any questions so far?
No, but actually, I was wondering if it might, maybe we should pivot here.
Sure, let's do it.
I've got a slightly earlier code actually from Rialto, and
Let's do it.
okay, yeah, let me dip out of your stream for a second.
Sure.
This was a game where the DPS complained that I thought I was Frogger, and looking back on the replay code, I see what they're saying, honestly. But there were a lot of it where I'm not entirely sure what I should have been doing instead either.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Ready when you are.
Okay. It is YBFZN4.
Okay, let's take a look.
Ready for
All set?
Yep, I'm
All
watching.
right, let's take a look here.
And I will say there were some things I did in this that I knew when I did them were stupid, and I was just kind of trying them out. But at the same time, there were a lot of places where I just didn't necessarily know what the better way to deal with it was.
Funny story about this map. I played this map not too long ago with the Wu Yang on attack, and we were playing into a very similar composition. A lot of hit scan shooting heroes, right?
Yeah.
My team had an EDRE one trick who went Lucio, and she proceeded to just sit on cart the entire time. And from what your description here, you're like, oh, they were calling me Frogger. I would have very much liked to have had you on my team instead. So let's see how this goes. I like how we're positioned so far. Notice, by the way, that the space that we're controlling here has been largely kind of tank tradey, right? But yet it's been it's been close, and it's been a bit of an angle a little bit off to the side, and it's worked. Like we've even amped heal, but it's been off of action, and it's worked. It's been a little scary, like that rotation right there. Like, oh man,
I just got hung up there. I forgot about the corner.
yeah, but it's still we're holding space. We're not being overly passive. Now, you're gonna go do some things here. You could continue to do what you're doing right now on off-angle control in the Ramatra. You could have also been playing up here, transition to here instead, and again, look for opportunities. I probably would have preferred that as the more medium risk, high reward. But I don't think this is bad either, because crucially, remember what was the mistake with the previous code? When you take a greedy, aggressive play, you need your amp. Well,
right, and I do have it.
I mean, this is the correct play. You had a clear staging onto the Widow that was very safe.
So
very sneaky.
This was actually a big thing for the game. Anytime there's a Widow in the game, it's something where I'm aware I have to be really careful with my sightlines, and I want to get rid of them because of that, because I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this isn't just with Widow. If there was any DPS that you can close the distance on and effectively trade with, if you can find a way to do so, you should do so. I mean, remember the Soldier? Almost the very first thing that we talked about in that last game, right? And in the second fight, too. It's the same thing. I mean, Soldier is not nearly as fragile as Widow, but when you have Amp, and you can close the distance without taking any damage, that is your job.
Okay.
You know, so like this is not only a good play because you made the play, but even if you'd failed the kill and Kiriko pockets this, I think with Amp, you get out. It's fine. Okay. Do it again. And then from here, you should be thinking, okay, where's the next position to get close?
Angle, right.
Right. And here we go. Right? Here we go. This is it.
Yep.
We have our amp. Now, I don't know that I would leave the room, is the mistake. You see what I'm saying? There's no real reason for you to leave
absolutely.
the room.
I don't remember if I just made a really terrible decision or flubbed my wall right there, but whichever is the case, I should not have done that.
There's also a real question of like momentum mistakes where you made a good play and you're just kind of flowing from there, and you kind of have to ground yourself and be like, okay, hang on. What do I need to be doing right now? How do I lose this fight? You know, I shouldn't. I could just need to hold this space. You know, harass, boop, shoot, distract, bait them in, amp out. Like you've got all that you need here, right? So just play your life, right? Because this transition is lethal, right? Like that right should kill you,
right?
You know.
Yeah.
And then even then, it's also like look at where you are now instead as well. Like you've not only almost died, you also lost space, and so now you're kind of in a spot where it's like this isn't really all that useful. And gee willikers, this without amp is insanely dangerous. So basically what happened is what was a good play transitioned into just you floating purposeless and just running around in the open space without amp. Goodbye. That's basically it.
Okay.
You're very purposeful with our positioning, even though it was a very aggressive, egotistical duel. I mean, I say egotistical, it was not an egotistical. It was a very aggressive, intelligent duel, and then you immediately stop thinking. And then you die.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Whereas, I mean, we don't even need to talk about what you should have done differently. You should have stayed here and then just see what happened. And even if you had gone back here, well, then let's see what I can do. Transition
or
right.
something.
Just taking a second to evaluate. Exactly. This is fine. As long as you can live. Mm-hmm. This is, we're going for a ride here.
Yeah. I was trying to avoid the kind of dangerous situation I did earlier, and I still managed not to.
Well, I mean, you just didn't do anything is the key thing. Like, you
No.
avoided it, but this is probably where you just stay where you are, essentially. Just stay here. Just stay. Heal, boop, heal, shoot, boop, harass, heal, shoot, boop. You're like, oh, it's scary in here. Yeah, but you're doing things, right? Whereas over here, like, we are on a...
Okay, yeah. Okay.
We are on a mission,
So,
you know?
Okay, so I should have stayed there and
Correct.
just tried not to die.
Yeah, it's a close range off angle, right? It's stressful as all get out, ridiculously high risk, but you're doing something.
Yeah.
So unless you can quickly transition to, I don't know, maybe over here, there's really just nowhere to go. Or here, like even then, is this really better? It's the same thing, right? So just hold the choke, hold the angle. Like this is fine. It's just we were here too late, essentially.
Okay.
Okay, let's keep going. This is a difficult map for Lucio. You're going to have to be willing to be really, really thoughtful about where to position. It's just much more open.
That's fair. I definitely notice I struggle more with maps than heroes against me.
Yes, correct. Correct. That's Lucio in a nutshell. Yep. Yep. You add amp to transition. Now, this is the funny thing here. This is both a hilarious error, and yet you analyze the situation perfectly. The error is, why did you move?
Because my team was way back there is why I moved.
But we're
I thought I
fighting
was
here.
Overextended.
Yeah, no. You're fine. Like, we're going to be fighting here. We would love to have you in here or here, for example, right? So if you're going to transition back, maybe you transition through here, or maybe you just don't transition. You just hold the space with amp, and you help your team hold the space, right? This is what Lucio should do, correct?
Okay.
Don't second guess yourself. Just because you're holding good space, even with 0 in your aura, is still good. The good thing, though, is that you amped across. You knew it was stupid. So you're like, I mean, you shouldn't have transitioned to heal. That was a mistake. You should stay speed all the way through, right? And then heal behind corner. But, yeah. This is also a bit of an error. I don't hate this position, but there's a significantly better angle for you to control from here. Where is it?
Top of stairs.
Same exact thing, just go up. Why is this better? Well, it's a bit of a different off angle for sure, but also what does this angle provide that this one does not provide?
A little more cover, I guess.
A little more cover, but also what if you don't want to be here? Well, you have the entire path
Easy
available
out.
to you.
Okay, fair enough.
There's anywhere for you to, not just easy out, easy in, essentially. You can go wherever you want from here. So... Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. It's like you're not controlling space right now. You're not doing damage. You're not applying pressure, and you're not really in a position to do anything super aggressive just yet because you didn't have your amp. But your wrist is getting destroyed because you went from a really good spot to control space to sitting behind your Orisa, and now she gets chunked. I mean, like, of course she is, right? Like, you're not Zen, you're not Ana, you're not Bap. You have nothing on that front line trade when there's another angle available to you.
Okay.
And see, this is good. You're like, The problem here is you didn't commit. You thought about it. You should have done it. You heard her. You're like, Instead, you do this. Now, why is this bad? Is going for tank bad? No. But, excuse me, the question is of all the positions to be with Lucio in this current fight, this is probably the worst. Why?
Because I've got the cast on a medium angle there, and I've got people behind me that I can't go back that way.
You're just not using architecture right now. Now, you could be poking the ram from here. Not great. You could be diving the Cassidy Mercy from over here. Really high risk, but good reward. You could be flanking around from here, harassing Kiriko Widow. Probably your best bet, to be honest, right? Just because of the space that you're using. This is you thinking more about what's my job and less to do with where I want to be as a selfish player, you know?
Okay.
Even just going here and poking would have been very useful. Because the thing is you don't even have to dive this Widow. If you're smart, you can chip this Widow with a couple of headshots, and now she can't do anything. Kiriko's going to look at you. Widow's going to look at you. That's all your team really needs right now. I mean, to give you credit, you did get out behind cover. Yeah, you just see it's a slow bleed out, you know? It's a slow bleed out.
Yep.
There just was missed opportunities early on. So there are moments where I think like you have a brilliant response, and there's moments where I feel like you lose a little bit of faith or you get a little bit uncomfortable. And I feel like the mistake is not due to a lack of ingenuity. It may just be due to a lack of confidence. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I've seen you make some really disgusting, well thought out strategic rotations and movements, and then sometimes to see you just lose it entirely. And I'm going to encourage you to when you are locked in, when you're thinking things through, like for example right here, right? You have your amp, you ran into a Venomine, but you know what? Mercy's fully engaged with you. Widow's pop sights, and she's stuck on the cart. And this space is safe for you. You see what I'm saying here? Like, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. And if we want to here, I was just about to say, you could beat here. You could. And look at the kill feed, you know? You win. Yay! Okay, we're good.
Right.
It's good. It's nice. Good job. I don't know why
Okay,
your perk
my
isn't
question
showing up.
there is I was very much caught out there. Should I not have been there to begin with, or do I need to
Here?
get better about tracking the ults?
Here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you just fell. Like, we could have been here. Literally just here, we would have been fine. Or even we could have been pushing with their team, even just shifting here. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's just a small thing. That's all. I mean, let's be honest. Like, we were not expecting them to commit an ultimate in that situation, right? And you just got a little sloppy
Right.
with that. That's all. Okay. I want to watch one more fight, but I want to watch your attack, because this is probably going to be an easier location for you to defend.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Let's flip the script and see how you do in your attack. Okay. Any questions so far?
Actually, I kind of felt like that was probably my worst round of the map, largely because of that first point. I knew at the time that I made that really long rotation there to try and get out of the room, but I didn't know what I should have done differently. I guess I would wonder a little bit, realistically, is there a way that I could have safely stayed there, or is it just a situation
talking about first point?
where I'm not doing any good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is
yeah.
it just a situation where I'm not doing any good anyway, so I might as well just die there doing something?
Talking about
When
this
it was a little
position
bit. No, the room.
Here?
Right by the point. Yeah. When.
Yeah. No. This would have been fine. Just stay here. And if you have to amp, like if they hard push you and you have to run away, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a choke, right? Like this space here, I mean, unless you're flying in from the top ropes with a beat, you're probably not going to really connect with their backline. So just take the short angle and harass the tank and make sure their DPS don't get in here. A lot of how people cap this point is by getting DPS in this room so that the tank that's holding point is getting shot from multiple sides. So if you can stay in here with your Mei or whatever, and then you get your, what was it? Orisa on point or whatever, then you guys can actually poke the ram down pretty fast. You just left. I think at that point, that fight was probably in the back foot because you were down one at that point, but still, you would have done something. That's it. You would have done something.
All right.
Most of your mistakes have been due to a lack of decisiveness of where you needed to play. That's it. Like right now, where's your transition period? This amp is just atrocious, right? Because where should you be transitioning to at this point in time? There's a couple of options.
Top left?
Top left, you could go here. I mean, it's free, right? There's nobody here, right? You could also go top right.
Yeah.
If there are people up top, you can go underneath. You could go from poke from here. Like, you could do all sorts of things, right? Like, you have the world's your oyster, right? And so this is an okay starting point. But yeah, here we are, right? This is better because we're a little. I just want to see you commit a little bit off to the side. Just a little bit off to the side.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, she actually failed the res. Nice. Yeah. And notice that. Look, you go for the play, and then look where you tuck. You see it? Boop, tuck.
Yep.
Right back into the room. Come on. Sure. Hit me. Yeah. Look at that. You don't even need to run away. You're fine. Like, if you're really smart with this and you're really clever with that, like that boop damage, he's probably used as hinder. You've got a mega. You could even wall right up top here and get to here. You could go back up to here. You have confidence in yourself. You've got this. Because as soon as you leave, you've lost pressure on here, and then now you're doing a long rotation for what? You know? That's like moving 2,000 miles from where you live right now to go work at a convenience store. It's like all that work for what reward, you know? Like, for what? It would have been better for you to die on the angle controlling space than for you to go back and heal Aura your Ashe at 40 meters, you know? Again, there's moments of brilliance and then you lose confidence. And I don't know if it's you feeling like you have an advantage and not wanting to throw it away, but you aggressively peeking an angle with Ant versus just passively poking and controlling that space are two different things. Yes, thank you. Very, very well done. Sure. Too far, find a way to close the distance. Okay.
That one was definitely a liftable wall ride, but...
Yeah, that's fine. I like that amp because we were responding to our Junker Queen shout. Remember, we talked about reactive amps. You did it there.
Okay.
Sure. This is an angle. This is fine. Stay in there. Yeah, okay. They just melt. Good job. Okay. Close the distance. Where's your space? We're kind of snowballing here, so we'll wait for Yeah, good. Just stay here. You still have your amp, too. You could even be peeking just a little bit here. I understand there's, like, obvious risk about hard peeking this, but you could just get a little bit of vision. But don't like the amp. Obviously, just given the context of what you were amping, right? Probably not the best. It wasn't that it was a useless amp. I just don't know if it was useful enough, if that makes sense. But man, why all of a sudden, why are we holding space so confidently? Like, look, we were refusing to go. Boom, knockdown. Cassie's now dead. We tackle Visor. We peek this, we go, oh, let's just go. This is really good. Yeah. Okay, man, this is just really good. It's really good because you're just on a short range off angle. With or without your soldier, this would have worked. Yeah, this is good. We have our amp. I don't like these amps here. This is like the second time we've seen this. Does that make sense? You still there? You might be muted.
I was muted, yeah.
That's all right.
I kind of agree, but Um,
I mean, he's fully
so I
speed.
am responding to the damage on the soldier,
Yes,
but I don't have enough information to know
correct.
whether or not he's going to be pushed when he's
Correct.
taking that damage.
Correct.
And that's why I amped, but I don't know what I should have done instead, I guess.
Nothing. Just hold heal
Nothing.
aura. Yeah,
Oh,
hold heal
okay.
aura. You can either respond with a heal amp when it's needed, or a speed amp if it's needed. There's just nothing on your screen.
Okay.
He's basically full. Now you're concerned that,
fair
I
enough.
might react too late. That's true, but I'd rather you react too late than to completely throw away a cooldown. Because there's no real serious action being taken here. That's the key thing.
Got it.
Stay here. Stay here. You see, you're losing confidence again. Now, I stay here. Stay here. Poke. Because you're like, well, it's a little too far. So is this. So your choice. Like, you can either hold angle here, or you can basically play here. This isn't terrible, but why not? You see what I'm saying? Why not?
Yep.
Because he's going to get pushed. He will get pushed, and there it is. And when he gets pushed, that pushes into your effective range. So now you're actually useful, right? I mean, to be fair to you, you're trying to find a different solution on the other side of the map. I actually respect this a lot. The problem is just that you're like, man, if I could only find a close range angle, it's literally, I mean, you're right there,
Yeah,
right?
okay,
You know,
okay.
to give you credit though, this is better than you sitting here. You were like, this doesn't feel right. Let me see if I can control some space on the side. This makes the Sojourn back up. And because you have your amp here, you really could cook. You could just amp speed in right now and just go. You could. Yes, you could. Yeah. Yes, this is fine. It's risky, but it's fine. Yeah, just go. Just go. Just go. Yeah. I really like sometimes when you just pull the trigger when you see opportunities or you see your team going and you're just willing to go in and risk it all. I really like that a lot. Because it's what's allowing your team to win these fights, because you're pulling attention when your team is pushing, and then you're also getting so much more damage value because you're seeing an opportunity, you just go. It's good. It's really good. It's really good. I think the key thing is for you is it's like there's only like two speeds. You're either like literally you're either like all the way in like this, or you're willing to just like give up a lot of space and just kind of sit in the back. You see what I'm saying? It feels like you need a switch when there needs to be more of a this angle's like pretty good for me, and I could just sit here and hold it. We saw that a couple of times. We saw that when you were here a few times, which was really good, and then we actually saw this here on the attack. Remember this? We just kept booping the ram cast and just holding the space.
Yeah.
That it's like the passive aggression, if that makes sense. Like you're holding an aggressive angle but not pushing.
Those. Okay, so there's certain situations that make that a lot easier. And it's mainly this small high ground situation where I can boot them and they're not back until my cooldown is back because they're completely off the ledge.
True. Remember this with the cast? Same situation, different location.
Is it?
It is.
The reason I dipped out there was I thought he was going to be back before I could really do much.
Yeah, but you have Mega, you have cover, you have cooldowns, you have full HP, you have the wall ride, right? You can even make a moves across there. Like this,
Right.
I'm saying like there's a lot of variables that come into play with whether you can hold this space or not. I mean, even think about King's Row third defense when they were peeking in that Mega angle. Remember that? And you kept leaving your soldier.
Yeah.
It's those moments where you could be holding space on the side. I want you to experiment more with that. I don't think that I don't want to create a hard rule for you. I want you to experiment more with passively holding space. And I want to point out that was the same thing here too, right? Same thing. So there's a lot of commitment plays where you'll see and you'll go mark somebody, but there's also a lot of plays where you don't really know where to hold, or you don't really know where to hold passively, and so you feel unsafe. I want you to experiment more with those. I want you to be willing to risk a little bit more and just experiment to see how things feel.
All right.
I think more than anything else with your positioning, I want to see more passive aggression from you. I want to see an angle being held, but not necessarily you jumping in the throat. Just hold the angle, see what happens. How many resources do you need? What if it's... I mean, hey, remember first defense when the soldier Cassidy pushed you? And we talked about how that was risky in terms of your cover usage, but it was very high value. That's kind of more of what I want to see from you.
Okay.
That's more of what I want to see. Now, strong points. I think your beats are really good. The strongest point of your beats is that you just use them when you see opportunities and you don't really wait. And especially with the minor perk, it's just really, really freaking good to do that. I have no feedback for your beats. Boop usage, fine. Mechanics. We talked about how to practice that. We also talked about how to practice your movement mechanics. My point still stands. However, I want to highlight that I don't think your mechanics are a weak point. They look pretty smooth.
Yep.
Keep it up. In terms of things to practice, two things mainly. Passive-aggressive angles, passive-aggressive space. Holding space between pressure cycles on just the side angle. Small rooms, high grounds, cover, whatever, experiment. If you don't have a good choice, make one. Try it. Take notes, think about what went well, what didn't go well. Remember, dying is not necessarily negative feedback. Maybe dying was what wins you the fight. Maybe you're losing the fight isn't negative feedback. You can even go back in the replay viewer and look at the context and be like, I think this is pretty reasonable, but next time I should probably do X instead. That's number one. Number two is going to be amping action. Too many amps used on targets that are behind cover. Too many amps used just for nothing, and then you wanting to take action and not being able to afterwards. Do you have any questions?
So that last situation there with the wasted amp, with the
Yes.
soldier on
Yes.
third point, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the times where I do waste it is I don't necessarily have a lot of information about the situation, and I'm not sure how to get that information without
Peek.
going somewhere where I might,
Just peek.
yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
peek. I mean, you're like,
Okay.
oh, I don't want to get my head blown off. Yeah, that's true, but you could peek. You can peek just once. Get a little scouting. And then you're like, oh, they're about to push us. I better have my amp ready. Or they're not going to push us. Maybe I should think about pushing with the amp if I see an opportunity. Or maybe they don't push me at all. I just hold the space, right? Yeah, just peek. That's
Okay.
fine. You were in the right spot there. You know, it's just how you behaved there could have been a little bit more wise, for lack of a better term. I don't generally do this, but I think like Diamond Lucio is like, yeah, looked pretty reasonable. You're doing things, so. I think if you were plat 3, plat 4, or whatever at the time of the form, I'm seeing in your form plat 3, this didn't look like plat 3 Lucio to me.
I think it should have been probably plat. It was like plat 1 to plat 3 was like usually my range, I think,
Gotcha. Okay.
at that time.
Okay. Well, I mean, it looked pretty solid.